Prince Andrew believed the shadows of his past had finally faded into the history books. But a fresh batch of photographs released by the United States Department, Music, of Justice has thrown the Duke of York into a crisis far deeper and more destructive than anyone could have imagined. Just as the House of Windsor hoped to move on, these images, said to show the prince's music in compromising situations, have reignited a firestorm that threatens to erase what little remains of his public standing. Hello, dear viewers, and thank you for joining us for this urgent update on the British royal family. Before we get into the shocking details of these new revelations and how King Charles is responding behind palace walls, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell. Your support helps us continue delivering the most in-depth analysis of the stories that matter. The phrase "the nightmare has returned" barely captures the current climate surrounding Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. For years, the Duke has tried to stay out of sight, withdrawing into the relative isolation of Royal Lodge, while his legal team fought relentlessly to separate him from the sordid legacy of the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. However, the release of new files by the U.S. Department of Justice on Friday, January 30th, has destroyed that fragile calm. According to recent reports, the DOJ has publicly released a series of photographs that place Prince Andrew directly at the heart of the Epstein investigation. Once again, these are not simple social images. The descriptions emerging are deeply humiliating for a member of the royal family. In one especially damaging image, the former Duke of York is reportedly seen on all fours on a woman. In another, he is shown leaning over an unidentified female. These visuals stand in stark and shocking contrast to the dignified image the monarchy seeks to preserve, and they have left both the public and the palace in complete disbelief. To grasp the seriousness of this moment, we have to look at the timing. This release came just as the monarchy was trying to mark a major milestone for King Charles. On January 31st, just one day after the DOJ made these files public, the official royal family Instagram account shared a polished and uplifting video. It featured a lineup of world-famous celebrities and ambassadors sending their congratulations to the king and his flagship initiative, the King's Trust, on its 50th anniversary. The contrast could not have been sharper. While the King's team was celebrating 5 decades of service and the support of more than 1.3 million young people across the United Kingdom, the headlines were dominated by his brother's disgraceful connection to a convicted sex offender. The King's Trust, previously known as the Prince's Trust, has served as a symbol of hope for half a century, helping young people build confidence, develop vital skills, and create brighter futures. This milestone was meant to be a defining moment for the monarch. The video featured ambassadors speaking sincerely about breaking barriers and opening doors. Yet as the king's spokesperson promoted messages of hope and progress, the dark shadow of the Epstein files hung heavily overhead. Sources close to the palace say King Charles is furious over both the timing and the substance of these latest revelations. The king has worked tirelessly to modernize the monarchy and secure its future. Yet again and again, he finds himself dealing with the fallout created by his younger brother. Public reaction has been fast and ruthless, driven largely by outspoken journalist, Music, Piers Morgan. Never one to hold back, Morgan took to the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, to voice his total contempt for those named in the latest document release. He pointed out that the new Epstein files are at the very least exposing a group of wealthy, famous, and powerful figures as blatant liars about the nature and length of their relationships with Epstein. Morgan's criticism goes beyond how long these connections lasted. He raised a disturbing question now echoing across public debate. If these people lied about how well they knew Epstein, what else might they be lying about regarding what they did or what they saw? For Prince Andrew, whose explanations have already faced years of intense skepticism, especially following Music, that infamous BBC Newsnight interview, these new images could represent the collapse of his defense. The visuals of him positioned over an unidentified woman directly undermine the version of events he has tried to present to the public. It is also crucial to remember Andrew's current status within the institution. In mid-October, the Duke announced he was stepping back from his royal titles. By the end of that month, the palace confirmed that King Charles had launched a formal and thorough process to strip Prince Andrew of his styles, titles, and honors. He was effectively removed from his military roles and royal patronages, reduced to a private citizen in all but where he lives. This was widely seen as a firm decision by Charles to shield the monarchy. But these new files show that removing titles does not erase scandal. The connection to Jeffrey Epstein does not end with Andrew. His former wife, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has also seen her name reappear in these newly released documents. Sarah's involvement has long been a source of controversy and speculation. In the past, when an email from Sarah to Epstein surfaced, her spokesperson tried to frame the exchange as a protective move. They claimed the message was meant to calm Epstein after he allegedly threatened to sue the Duchess for defamation because she had linked him to his criminal history. However, the content of the emails paints a far more complicated picture of business interests and personal branding. One message from Sarah states, "Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I had the best discussion with Target Music on Friday, and they desperately want the entire Mother's Army project. They also want to support my whole Sarah Ferguson brand, books, and more." This suggests a level of professional collaboration and financial motivation that clashes with the idea of someone simply trying to fend off a dangerous individual. The Mother's Army project was a major initiative for the Duchess, and seeing it so closely tied to Epstein's influence is deeply unsettling for many. As these developments unfold, it is clear that Prince Andrew is what many describe as being in a very deep hole. The legal and social consequences of these photographs cannot be overstated. For an audience that has followed the royal family for decades, witnessing a prince in such circumstances is a profound shock. It raises serious questions about accountability and the double standards that often appear to protect the powerful. So, what does this mean for the monarchy's future? King Charles is clearly trying to keep attention on his charitable mission and the 50-year legacy of the King's Trust. He wants to present a monarchy music that feels relevant, compassionate, and focused on the next generation. But as long as the Epstein files continue to emerge, the past will keep intruding on the present. The formal removal of Andrew's honors was supposed to close the chapter, yet the DOJ has ensured the story remains very much alive in the court of public opinion. The detail about the unidentified woman in the photographs is especially disturbing. For years, the Duke of York has insisted he has no memory of meeting certain individuals or being in specific places. If these images can be accurately dated and the locations confirmed, they could become the final evidence proving that his earlier claims were, as Piers Morgan suggested, outright lies. Lawyers representing the victims of Jeffrey Epstein have long searched for this kind of clear and undeniable proof, and this latest release of files may finally deliver the breakthrough they have been waiting for. Looking at the bigger picture, the resilience of the royal family music is being challenged more severely than ever before. The king and his senior circle are reportedly determined to press ahead with their long-term goals for the next 50 years. But the shadow cast by the Duke of York is a heavy one. Public trust is delicate, and while the king's charity has supported 1.3 million young people, the actions of one individual can easily overshadow the positive work of many. The situation involving Sarah Ferguson adds another tragic dimension to this unfolding story. Despite their divorce, she and Andrew have remained unusually close, often sharing the same home at Royal Lodge. Her attempts to grow her brand and secure financial stability through Epstein's music connections reveal how far some members of minor royalty may go to preserve their lifestyle. It serves as a warning, music, of what can happen when the pursuit of status and money draws people into the circle of genuinely dangerous figures. In closing, the release of these new photographs and documents, music, by the United States Department of Justice has reopened a wound the British monarchy was desperate to close. Prince Andrew's nightmare has clearly returned, and this time the visual evidence may be impossible even for his strongest defenders to dismiss. From the anger of King Charles to the harsh criticism from Piers Morgan, the message is unmistakable. The truth is emerging, and it is far darker than the public was previously led to believe. Now we want to hear from you, our viewers. What do you think about these latest revelations? Has the royal family done enough to distance itself from Prince Andrew, or should even stronger steps be taken? And how do you feel about Sarah Ferguson's business dealings with Epstein now coming to light? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We truly value your opinion and look forward to a thoughtful discussion. If you found this report helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and share it with fellow royal watchers. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure to do so to stay informed as this story continues to unfold. We will keep tracking the DOJ files, music, and any new statements from Buckingham Palace as they emerge. Thank you for watching and for being part of our community.